Okay. How you doing again, you guys? It's Sherman, and we're going to talk a little bit today about knowing yourself and why it's vitally important that you do know who you are. A while back, we talked about a movie that related the story about a football team, and this team was dealing with issues of getting the most out of these youngsters, and how the coach was pushing these kids to move beyond that which that they thought that they were able to do at the time. We also during that time we talked about a drill that they'd gone through where the coach said, "Guess what, kids? Where I'm going to have you carry somebody on your back, and you're going to take this person across this field," and how this student didn't think he had it in him, but in the end, he actually did have it in him, actually had even more than that. There was another movie that we saw. It was along the same lines, and I do remember the name of this one. It's called Remember the Titans. And the same sort of thing, but in this one was in a little different respect. This had to actually do with more of a cultural, moral type thing, where you had Denzel Washington, who was the new black football coach in an all-white society, and where he was pushing the boundaries of where these people thought that they were able to go. And in the end, not only did the townsfolk, or excuse me, the students embrace this new love of integration and being able to work with people who they had not seen at that time, but also the townspeople changed. The townspeople embraced this coach because, you know what, they saw that what they were doing was a good thing. Um, Let me give you one more thing before we go into this. Where many of you have heard of the Miami Hurricanes, you've heard of and we relate a lot of things to football because I love football because I think it really speaks a lot and it's a great training tool. The Miami Hurricanes, the Florida teams, many of those teams down there were just terrible teams many years ago. You wouldn't think of it now because all you can hear about now is the U and how great of a team it is. But there was a time, yes, when that team couldn't do anything right. Well, the coach, a coach at the time, was a professional coach. I can't remember his name. Sorry, guys, you have to forgive me. But he came down to that area, and what he decided to do was to take this all-white college football team and to integrate into them the people who were around the school. And the people around the school were African Americans that were around the school. So he went into the ghetto neighborhoods and he spoke to these kids and he said, "Look, kids, I want you to come play with me, and in 5 years we're going to play for a national title in college football." And these kids thought he was crazy, but you know what? This coach knew that there was something inside of these kids, and he knew there was something that this college football team could offer them, and he knew he could see things at the end, even when the people who were there couldn't see it. Well, needless to say, it took him a few years, but in 5 years' time, this once lackluster team who couldn't even fill the stadium was not only packing the new stadium that they built, but also they're playing for a national championship, and they've been a powerhouse ever since then, guys. It's just, it's but you know what, the thing about it is the people didn't know that who they were, but somebody saw something inside of these kids that he knew what they could be. And really, that's why it's so important. Because I'll tell you, unless somebody knows that there's something inside of you guys, it's very hard for you to pull yourselves up and say, "Okay, I know what's inside of me, and I'm going to move forward and become this great thing." Okay? You need to know who you are and what you're able to do in order for you to move forward, you guys. Knowing yourself is the beginning of wisdom, you guys. I know the Bible says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, but knowing yourself is also the beginning of wisdom. How can you actually apply any of the things in life unless you know that you're able to do them, or even that you could be capable of doing anything? I want to submit this to you, that take some time today to assess yourself. Assess, am I a happy person? Am I a sad person? Am I an energetic person? Am I the kind of person who likes to get up early in the morning and go running? Am I the kind of person who likes to stay up late at night? Am I a people person? Am I an aggressive person? Am I a shy person? Do you really know who you are? Am I a religious person? Am I a spiritual person? Am I fake? Okay? Do you really know who you are? And besides that, do you know what you're capable of doing? Don't don't you know that they say that you use maybe 5% of your mind in any one given point. Even the smartest people use maybe 5% of their minds. But can you imagine the things that you could do if you were able to just to tap into the wealth of resources that you actually have between your ears? Can you imagine what you would be able to do if you were able to even believe in yourself just a little bit and move forward? I told you a story a little while ago about a near and dear person in my life who believed in themselves enough, and now they're actually doing phenomenal things. Well, guys, let me tell you another story. Well, let me make sure I got enough time here. Okay, I've just got a couple minutes. Let me tell you. I did a lot of counseling a number of years ago, and I had a group, and I did an anger management group. And in this group, I had we asked the question. Or excuse me, no, there was a person in the group who, if you asked me if I had a candidate who was going to move to the next level, I can tell you right now, it was not going to be this person right here. There's just no way on earth that I would have probably told you it would have been this person. But all of a sudden, we were in a group, and we probably had about 25, 30 people. It was a very large group at that time. And we were sitting in the group, and all of a sudden, we all felt something shift. Something just shifted. You ever seen a cartoon where all of a sudden a cartoon character all of a sudden goes and they kind of shift? Well, that's what happened. You looked over at this person, and all of a sudden something happened in them, and literally, physically, there was a change in them. And guess what? Spiritually, there became a change in this person's life. And I'll tell you, I believe that that was actually a connection point that that person had with God and with themselves, and they all of a sudden knew that something was going to change in their life. And they really believed that they weren't going to be resigned to being an angry person all their lives. And literally, that person in a split second became a new person. Okay? I wish I could pat myself on the back and say it was me, but it really wasn't me. I actually just got to watch the whole thing happen because I was as surprised as anybody else. This person ended up going to Bible college and became an integral leader in the community where she was at. And I'll tell you, it all happened because this person believed in themselves and they began to know who they were. And that same thing can happen to you. In our next installment, guys, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. I wish we would go into it. I'm going to be, if you really want to know more about this whole situation and how to get to that next level, I'm going to begin producing full-length teachings on how to become a better person. And I'm going to, and you'll get these the short snippets here on YouTube, and you'll get the short snippets on Facebook, but I'm going to begin to produce these things so that you can actually get the full gambit of the topics we've been talking about. If you like them, I just encourage you to write me, let me know, hey Sherman, this is what I want to know. I really connect with what you're talking about, and I'll get that information in your hand. Okay? Until then, you guys, this is Sherman. It's been great talking to you once again. We'll talk to you again and have a great weekend. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful time, and we'll talk to you later. Okay? All right. Bye-bye.